Okay, this is a quick tutorial video of how to set your trend system up using the IQView4 interface. Okay, this next tutorial is all about setting exception times up in your trend system. If you haven't already, please check out and watch video number 3, which explains setting times up. This video follows on from that one. If you haven't seen that one already, please check it out first. It will help you understand this video. Okay, we briefly went over what exceptions are in the previous video, video number 3. They are exceptions to the normal time rules. So we used the example in the previous video. If you were at school and you had a holiday period, you would set an exception up for that holiday period because you probably want your heating to be off, or you may want alternative timings within that time period. They can also be single events. So if you have a reoccurring event every month, say an open evening or something of that like, where you need different timings, it can be done for that. It can be used for anything that isn't your normal day-to-day timings. It doesn't have to be a reoccurring event. It can be a single event, a one-off. If you have that situation in your premises, you also use exceptions for that purpose also. Okay, to view or create a new exception or view an existing one, just hit the exception button and that will take you to the exception page for this zone. It's a calendar overview of the current month. You'll notice on this page it will show some crosses. That's just showing you that obviously those days are already passed. And the current day is highlighted with a box. If you push the list button, it will display any programmed exceptions within the month on view, or as in this case, it will show you that there aren't any. You can go ahead and push the month button, go back to the calendar page, and you can then scroll through each month using the buttons on the right. Okay, we're going to keep scrolling through till we get to December. In December, we have our Christmas exception set up. Our premises shuts over the Christmas period, so our heating is disabled over this time, except for obviously frost protection, which is always on. Okay, if we hit the list button now, we're going to get a little bit more information on this exception. We can see there's a timescale at the top of the screen. There's the name of the exception, which in this case is Xmas exception. It's every year, so it's reoccurring, and it spans between December the 25th to January the 4th. We can also see there is no alternative timings. This exception is off all the time as we don't want the heating on because there's no one at the premises. Okay, what do we need to do if we want to edit this? As with the timings in the previous video, you just touch the block. You then go ahead, push the change button, and then you're taken to the exception name. So you can edit this exception and call it whatever you like. Okay, once you're happy with your exception name, go ahead, click the next button, and it will take you to the reoccurrence page. Here you just select how this exception will reoccur, if at all. If you select every, it will recur every year. If it's once, as the name suggests, it's just a one-off. Okay, once you're happy with that, click the next button. You're then onto the dates page. You've got 2 calendars, the start and end calendar. The start is currently highlighted. Use the cursor keys in the center of the screen. You can scroll through your start date. Then you touch the end calendar on the right hand side. Use the same cursor keys and you can select your end date. Okay, once you're happy with that, as always, go ahead and click the next key. Okay, we're now on the change times page. This is where we change the actual times for this exception. I'm not going to go ahead and do that. It's exactly the same process as if you were setting up an every week time, which you can go over on video number 3, as explained before. Again, just hit the change button, go through the same procedure and set whatever times you wish for this exception. Once you're happy with that, go ahead, hit the finish button, and that's your exception all done. Okay, I'm just going to do another quick one, just adding another exception now. Again, it's very, very similar to where we just edited that existing one. Once we're on the exception calendar, go ahead and hit the add button. Go ahead and enter your exception name. In this example, we're going to put test holiday. Once you're happy with that, go ahead, hit the next button. And in this instance, we're going to select this as a one-off. So this is just going to be a single exception. For the dates, we're going to select the start date on the 23rd of February. And we're going to set the end dates up to the 28th of February. Okay, once you're happy with your dates, push the next button as usual. We're onto the change time page again. Again, I'm not going to change these times. If you do need to, it's as simple as pressing the change button and follow the procedure as previously explained. One thing worth noting is that the Trend has put a default time span in on this new exception. And in fact, it did so when we edited the Xmas exception. Just be aware of this and make sure you go and change your times to the times you need. Or if you need the zone to be disabled, make sure you turn the zone off or set an equal start and end time, which will do the same thing. It will disable that zone. Okay, as always, push the finish button and we're back to the exceptions calendar view and you can see our new exception highlighted on the page. That's all there is to it. That's a new exception set up on your Trend system using an IQView4. Hope you found this tutorial video useful. As always, any comments, please leave them on our YouTube channel. You can email us for any advice you may need or just give us a ring and we're happy to help.